The transfer window was a lot busier than I expected, and that's because a couple of players I was hoping to keep left, but they left for decent money. So on one hand, I'm sad to see him go. On the other hand, we got money in the bank, and I spent a decent amount of it as well, but we still came out as net sellers. The season's off to a decent start. Today, we have our Europa League group draw, and then we're playing Real Madrid, so we'll have to see how it goes. My name's FM20, and it's time to get real. Well, we'll start here with the released players. No real big names on here. Maybe Din Sula. He had one good season for us and then wanted starters money for a squad contract. And I said, no, I've loaned him out the past couple of seasons. I tried moving him last season, but there were no takers. Ali Masudi and Heiko Makel were youth players that just never really panned out. The others were youth players that never really panned out. So there was no issue letting them go. On the free transfers out, we just had one in, Benjamin Andricht. 3-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability, striker, really good physicals already. Technically, he's not bad. The 13 crossing, 14 dribbling, 11 finish, 13 first touch is nice, 14 passing is great, 16 technique is absolutely fabulous. Mentally, solid where it counts. You know, I love the 15 determination, the 16 flair, the off the ball, the work rate's good, the composure's good, the anticipation's good. And the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice which name isn't over here on the left under the comparisons. Loan deals, we've loaned out 6 players. I wasn't too active on the loan front this year. I will say the 2 players that I did loan out that I was really kind of hoping, well, I wasn't hoping to keep them on the starting 11 or even the starting 22, but it was they were contributors last year, but this year they were kind of lost in the shuffle. Adelson Andrade, a midfielder, and Ivan Mesic, one of my defensive center backs, who for some reason last year just kind of fell off at the end. And then teams started asking for him in the offseason for loan deals. And it was one of those cases where it's kind of like it is now. I'm getting $20,000 a month for Andrade and $60,000 a month for Mesic, and all of their salaries being taken care of by their respective teams as well. And then comes the cash and clause transfers. On the outs, the first big name, Lucina Traore left, went to Leicester for 22 million euros, going up to 30.5 based on appearances and international appearances. That was tough. I was really hoping he would stay, but I got Max Anderson on a free, and while they're not exactly a one-for-one swap, Anderson in a couple of years could be as good as Lucina Traore. This was one of those cases where he was a team leader, he really wanted to go, and I didn't want to stand in his way, because if I kept him here, I think it would have really thrown the locker room for a loop. Plus, you know, he was kind of, it sounds bad to say it, but he's kind of at that age. He's 25 years old. He's 4-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. He's not going to get much better than he is now. If anything, he'll probably start declining. Plus, they were willing to pay him 115,000 euros a week, and I can't afford that. So he's gotten off to a decent start in the African Cup qualifying. 2 appearances, 1 goal, 2 assists. Hasn't had any goals or anything in the Premier League. Let me look at Leicester here real quick. Yeah, they got Hwang Hee-chan. And Morgan Rogers, who are their primary strikers. So it looks like Traore's coming off the bench. But you know what? 115,000 euros a week to come off the bench for a Premier Club team. For a Premier League team rather. That's not a bad deal. Oh, he pulled a hamstring. He's out for a couple weeks. Lissandro Tremoni went to Elche for 975,000 euros. Max Mace, who I was hoping to keep, went to KAS Eupen for 750,000 euros. Cesar Bernier, who was a left back who just never really developed, went to KB Kortrijk for 200,000 euros. Marco Salinas was the other player I was really hoping I could keep. But one of the problems I ran into is the registration rules. I can only have 3 non-EU players registered. I have Helio, who's Brazilian, Mahmoud, who's Egyptian, and Campos, who is Peruvian. Marcelo Salinas was my other Peruvian, who I brought on a couple years ago. The big reason I was willing to let him move was that he's just never really improved. Even on the loan spells I sent him out on. And he played a decent amount of games. And he had a decent amount of time on the B squad, and that he just never got any better. It was annoying as heck. So I ended up moving him for 275,000 euros. We came out ahead on that. Tremoni was one of those players that we brought in we brought him in for 1.1. We sold him for 975, so it's not a huge loss there. Max Mace, we brought it on a free. He leaves for 750,000 euros, so we came ahead there. Cesar Bernier came in on a free, leaves for 200,000 euros, so we came ahead there. Salinas coming on a free. No, we paid to get Salinas. No, he came in on a free. Okay, 275,000 euros. That's right, because I got him as a youth player. Lorenzo Moretti, or Liam Alves, who was a youth player who just never really panned out. I mean, star current ability, star and a half potential ability. He left for Cultural Leonesa for 99,000 euros, so we definitely came out ahead there. I think at one point in time, he had like 85 teams after him. It was really kind of funny. And then, let's see, who was that? Lorenzo Moretti, who was a defensive right back, defensive center back backup, just never really cracked the starting lineup. 24 years old, wasn't going to get better than the 2.5 stars he is now. He came in on a free. We sold him for 275,000 euros to UD Las Palmas. And then Enrique Jesus Matios is a young striker. He was one of the ones who came in last year as part of the let's bring in all the youth players we can and buy the best ones and then get the others on free and see if we can turn a profit on them. And right now, his deal is worth 450,000 euros to Villarreal. That, however, can go up to 1.4 million based on appearances and goals. So, on the in, the first big in was Guillaume Lemaitre from AS Monaco. Needed a winger to help me out on the right, especially with Tremoni leaving, and he was the best young player available. 3.5 star current ability, 5 star potential ability. Monaco was letting him go because they're frankly solid at every position. They've got more than enough players. So, physically, he is getting better. The agility and acceleration are nice. Everything else is fairly solid. Mentally, he's not bad. There's no real weaknesses there, but I love the 17 work rate. The 15 determination is nice as well. Technically, already really good. 15 crossing, 15 dribbling, 14 first touch, 12 passing, 16 technique, and that's only going to get better as well. And he's a natural winger on the right side, and so he is definitely going to see a lot of playing time this season. And if anything, he will probably be on the French team in a couple of years. Alessandro Cordonovas. I needed a backup player who could play a bunch of positions really, really well, and he fit the bill. 25 years old, 3-star current ability, 3.5 star potential ability, plays center mid, plays advanced midfielder, plays the left, plays the right, plays a striker as well. He's capable. I mean, he's a natural advanced midfielder in the center, but I don't play that. But he's a more than capable winger on either side. He's a more than capable midfielder, so I can start him or put him on the bench. He can come in and definitely fill in for more than a couple of people. Solid physically, solid mentally. When a 4 leadership's the lowest thing I got to worry about, I don't have to worry about anything really. Technically, he's pretty solid where it counts. 14 dribbling, 14 first touch, 12 passing, 14 technique. Can't complain about that. And for the money we spent, we got a good player. Elliot Fontaine comes to us from Marseille. Needed some help on the defensive backline. He comes in as a natural center midfielder, a ball-winning midfielder, and that's actually where I'll probably end up playing him more often than not as part of the midfield rotation. 3-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. Physically, just really, really good. 21-year-old model citizen. Technically, he's not the best. I'll be the first to admit that. But, the 13 marking and 10 tackling, they're okay. I'm working on his attacking movement right now, but I'm going to be working on his technicals later. Mentally, about as solid as you can get for all the required positions that I look for. 19 bravery, 14 concentration and decision-making, 15 determination, 15 teamwork, 12 work rate, 13 vision. His off the ball is okay. His positioning is okay. His anticipation is okay. 21 years old. He still has a couple more years left to get better. Chances are he probably will. I wouldn't be surprised if he reached 4-star ability here in 2 years, assuming he gets a decent amount of playing time. Ricardo Piccione Ricardo from Inter, 250,000 euros. Needed some depth at defensive center back. He was one of the better younger players available for the right money. 2.5-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. Physically, really good. Mentally, really good. The 3 flares lacking, but then again, defensive center back. 17 teamwork, 13 determination, 12, 13s, and 14s across the board for the others. Technically, yeah, he could use some help there, but the 12 first touch is nice. The 12 marking and 14 tackling are nice. I'm not too worried about the crossing and dribbling. The passing I can work on. But he is going to be part of the rotation going forward. And then the big money. I signed Fontaine, or I made offers to Fontaine and Ricardo at about the same time, maybe a couple days apart. And then, for whatever reason, Elliot Fontaine signed. Ricardo didn't. And I thought I lost him. And I was sitting on a decent chunk of change. I said, well, who's out there that I can spend a decent amount of money on? I'm not going to, all the really good players. Let me see here. Is it Jolie Oliver? It's Oliver Jolie. He's at Udinese now. He was at PSG. He was the best young defensive center back out there. And he's on loan, and they're paying $1.7 million a month for him. I couldn't afford that if I wanted to. The board would absolutely have kittens if I tried doing that. But the fact that they're loaning him out tells you how deep PSG is. But anyhow, Sidi Diagne from Dijon comes to us for 8 million euros straight up. 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability, 24 years old. Solid physically, solid mentally, solid technically. I can't complain about it. 16 heading with a 13 jumping reach, 13s, 14s, and 13, 14, 15, 16 in the other mentals, or in the other physicals rather. Mentally solid across the board. Technically, okay, he's not the best free kick taker. He's not the best corner kick taker. But a 14 marking, 12 tackling, 11 technique, he's definitely going to be part of the defensive center back rotation. I think we got a good deal on this kid. And that is our transfer window, player-wise. Coaching-wise, they expanded the roster. They expanded the coaching roster yet again. Now I have 12 coaches. I've got 10 scouts. I still have to go in and edit some of the new ones that arrived. I got another physio. The under-19 staff is expanding as well. I've got 2 new coaches coming in. One of the things I discovered while watching Zealand a couple days ago on Twitch, FM Base, really good streamer, really good YouTuber, is that goalkeeping and fitness coaches at the senior level also coach the lower level players as well. So you don't need a goalkeeping coach or fitness coach on your U19s or B squads if you have a B squad, because you're really good. Let me switch over to the right here. So that's one of my goalkeeping coaches for the senior squad. That's my other goalkeeping coach for the senior squad, and they'll coach the youngsters as well. Now, he's a 9, but he's a 15. Fitness coach-wise, I've got one who's a 16 and a 10 working with youngsters, and the other who's an 18 and 13 working with youngsters, although he's going to retire here in a couple of years. My coaching staff's a little bit on the older side. But that lets me bring in more coaches that can also do more of the attacking technical and attacking possession sort of roles and defensive roles as well. So we spread out our coaching experience there. We've got the best coaching staff in La Liga. I'm not quite sure how. Coaching-wise or scouting-wise, we're close in most areas. I think we're just behind Barcelona, but freaking Barcelona has probably 30 scouts. So season got off to a good start. I played a decent amount of friendlies. I tried setting it up to where about every 4 games I had a friendly and I would rotate the sides, and it worked out really well. We only had the 1 loss against Ajax, but that was a really good game. The only drawback was Helio Cesar hurt his leg in the Fuenlabrada game, so he missed the first couple of games. The only drawback was Helio Cesar hurt his leg in the Fuenlabrada game, I want to say, or in training in between Fuenlabrada Real Sociedad, so he's missed the first couple of games. But the season's off to a flying start. Against Sociedad, we beat them 3-2 thanks to a Frank Campos goal in the 87th minute. They tied on an Alexander Isak goal in the 84th minute. Marino scored in the 72nd minute. Matashak had a penalty kick in the 75th minute to put us ahead. I really thought we had this in the bag. Despite, if you look at the match stats, they had 27 shots, 12 on target. We had 6 and 4. This was one of those cases where Sociedad played fairly high up. I mean, that's a compact line. They were high up on the defense and not so high up on the offense. And I ended up falling back just a little bit because they were really starting to beat us on the corners. And it worked out. We ended up playing, as I clicked the wrong thing, we ended up playing a decent game. Matashak was brilliant. Campos came on in relief at the half because Smokovic was just having an awful game. Mathis didn't have the best game either, but everyone else did just enough to win. Marino, however, ended up with a player of the match. I'm not quite sure how. Probably the 7 key passes he had. And then we played Cadiz. I don't want to say they're a bogey team, but they've kind of been... I don't know. How can I put this? The Robin to our Batman? I don't know. We've had a lot more success than them, but yet they're still around. They didn't get relegated last year, so they're doing really well, but we completely outclassed them. 31 shots, 14 on target, 57% possession advantage. Charles Ely Mathis had a goal in the first minute. Essa Muhammad had a goal in the 22nd minute rather, and then Lemaitre scored just before the half. And even though Jordi Escobar scored for them in the 35th minute, the second half of the match, they were just out of it. Jesse Lingard, yes, that Jesse Lingard, got a goal for them in the 61st minute. And then Smokovic got another goal in the 69th minute. The game was never really close. The Mathis goal in the first minute kind of punched them in the jaw, and they came all the way back. And as you can see, I really started explaining the fact that they were playing really narrow, and their number 3 was essentially playing inverted wing back and was trying to underlap the center and left this huge hole here, which I absolutely took advantage of. So today, though, we are playing Barcelona, who are first in the league. They're 2 points ahead. Well, it goes... well, legal rules are different. It's really... I know I talked about this in the past, but we can go here. Points for draw number teams. So the league sorting rules are results between teams, goal difference, and goals scored. We have not played each other yet, so it's the goal difference, and their goal difference is 4 better than ours. We're doing really well, though. We've got 4 yellow cards in 2 games. It's really kind of annoying. The goal, however, is, fewer yellow cards than points this season. We're looking to finish top 7 again for European football. Money-wise, we're doing really good. 56 million euros in the bank. We've got a decent amount of payroll budget left, a decent amount of loan money left, or loan budget left. I upped the scouting budget, and we're scouting the entire world now. So hopefully we can find some good young players to bring in. Players like Helmut Nauschreiner, who is an advanced midfielder on the left, who we're going to keep our eye on. So we're doing really good there. I can't complain about that. And the board has been spending money. Let's show the board request. There used to be. We're getting upgraded training facilities. We're getting upgraded data analysis facilities. And in the January transfer window, I'm going to hit them on youth facilities, and we will see what happens. There it is. So they increased the loan manager wages, which was nice. Improved training facilities. Improved training facilities completed. 5/17/26. I'll be honest, I don't remember doing that. I remember improving the data analysis facilities. But, right now I'm a B+. They're concerned with some of the finances on some of the players, but it got to the point where I was like, I'm just not going to haggle, and, let's get these players out of here, especially if they don't want to be here. So today, it is our Europa League group stage game. We're one of 8 teams that have been seeded 4th for the draw, so let's get to it. And I'm going to draw the first 3 teams, and we'll go through the last groups after. Okay. Tottenham, Zenit, and Rio Ave are a group. Napoli, Fenerbahce, and AEK are a group. Atalanta, Sparta Praha, Aberdeen are Group C. Lille, Mainz, and Galatasaray are Group D. Chelsea, Ajax, and Rosenborg are Group E. Okay, we totally want to avoid Group E. Leipzig, Betis, and Olympiacos are Group F. I'd like to avoid them as well. Dynamo Kiev, Club Brugge, TSG Hoffenheim are Group G. Group H is AZ, Legia Warsaw, and Young Boys. If I had my choice, Group C or Group G. Now watch us get stuck in Group E. CSK Sofia rounds out Group A. Rijeka rounds out Group B. St. Etienne rounds out Group C. Partizan rounds out D. Rubin Kazan rounds out E. Malmö rounds out F. Group G? No. Hajduk Split gets Group G. We are in Group H, playing AZ, Legia Warsaw, and Young Boys. So, you know what? Let me do this real quick. I'll be back with it. We're going to be back with the Barcelona game in just a bit. I want to start getting team reports on the teams we're going to be playing. Well, we are playing Barcelona today. There's still 2 days left in the transfer window. And then, of course, the day the transfer window closes is also the day we have to set the Europa League roster. So, you know, fun times there. The Gwyn, where you already have Fati on your team, and then this is who you get through your system as well. Holy cow. Now, we're playing our 4-2-4, of course. Van Berkel on goal, Mahmoud, Lukeba, Diagne, and Nunez as the defensive back four, Guerra and Matishak as the midfielders, Mathis and Lemaitre as the attack midfielders, Helio Cesar and Andrich up top as the strikers. I am just looking for a quality match. The pundits have picked us to finish 15th this year, which is a slight improvement. Actually, I think it... You know what? We'll check after the match. I want to say it's 15th, but I could be wrong. Oh, Mahmoud just went out with an injury. Bring Serac in. That's not good. Segovia sends it in. Van Boekel bounces off of Van Berkel, rather, and goes in for the goal. What the heck happened there, fellas? He got a hand on it, but he didn't deflect it enough. If anything, he deflected it into his own post. Okay. Fati from the throw-in. Back to Grimaldo. He crosses it in. Serac knocks it up to Mathis. Long pass to Cesar. He's waiting for help. Back to Serac. Serac tries crossing in. He bounces it off a Barca player, and it goes all the way out to Le Guin. He crosses it. Fati's there. And he pushes it wide right. Wow, did we dodge a bullet there. Van Berkel did the right thing by charging it. Threw Fati off. Matishak to Nunez to Lemaitre. Oh, De Jong almost dispossesses him, but he gets it in, but it's knocked away. Fati up to Le Guin. Oh, blows by the one defender. Passes it over to Segovia. 1-on-1 with Van Berkel, and he blasts a shot into the side of the net. Let's play the half. Van Berkel to Diagne. Up to Lemaitre. Back to Nunez. Drives forward. Passes up in space for Andrich, who got by the defender. Cross it. Somebody cross it. Lemaitre stops it. Nunez Cesar bounces it off a Barcelona player. Oh, we're dwelling on the ball too much. 6 shots, 3 on target for us. A decent possession advantage. There's 7 shots and 2. And the 1 goal by Le Guin have them in the lead. Mahmoud is out with a foot injury. Hopefully it is nothing too serious. Tell Matishak to slow his roll. Can't afford to have him get sent off. Griezmann on the throw-in. Knocked away in the box. Matishak dispossessed by Kessie. Over to Grimaldo. And he blows it by Van Berkel. Why am I saying Van Berkel? I don't know why I'm saying Van Berkel. Good grief. Guys, come on. That is... Okay. I'm saying Van Berkel because that's his name. Why am I thinking Van Poppel? Kessie on the throw-in. Gets it in the box. Knocked away Segovia. Back to Warbeck. Over to Segovia. He crosses it in. Knocked away. Lemaitre sends it up. Matishak can't get there, though. Out to Fati. He holds it up. Bounces it off. Kessie gets the rebound and absolutely blows it into the net. I've seen him do that before. He did that for me quite a bit when I was playing Milan. Those are his sort of shots. He sits right on the edge of the box. Waits for a channel or an opening and just bang. There's no way Van Berkel is going to get to that. Holy cow, the ball is just not bouncing our way today. Grimaldo off the penalty kick, off the free kick rather, into the box. Fati over to Webbeck and Van. Oh, good grief. Holy cow. Well, Mathis is on a 6-1, so we will get him off and bring on Cordonovas. We're going to bring in Gregera. We're going to take off Gregera and bring on Fontaine. It's 3 goals in the space of 10 minutes. Van Berkel got pulled out way too far. Diagne up to Lemaitre. And he gives it away to Grimaldo. What the heck was that? I mean, granted, he's 19 years old, but he should know better. Kessie out into space for Segovia. Back to Wagnerich. Oh, wow. That was a shot. Can we at least get one? Grimaldo on the throw-in to De Jong. Over to Fati. He cuts across the field. Passes it off to Segovia. He crosses out to Grimaldo, who's in space. Le Guin's there. Bounces back and forth. Off Van Berkel and in for the goal. Gonna have our work cut out for us, aren't we, guys? We did well enough to stop Le Guin. Van Berkel, to his credit, did get a hand on the ball. I really can't blame him for at least 3 of these goals. They weren't his fault, really. Okay, if they get a goal here, it's just salt in the wound. Fati in the box. Drops it off. Wegnick, Kessie. Damn it. Don't really want to see that. Wish the game would end. Van Berkel ended up on a 6-2. Cesar ended up on a 6-2. Yeah, 3 to 5 weeks. That's not bad. If anything, that means he's not going to play on international duty, which is nice because we've got the break coming up. That's twice now in 2 seasons we've been beaten 6-0. Yeah, this was Barcelona's transfer window this season. They spent $234 million and they sold $151 million. They sold Pedri for 46. They sold Sane for 47. They sold Mendy for 31. They sold Gnabry for 27.5. They brought in Grimaldo, Tete. Le Guin came from Stade Rennais for $59 million. Holy cow. Bastien Rousseau came in from Nantes. We got a ways to go, don't we? We are going to come back for AZ and Getafe. According to the pundits, AZ is the toughest team in the group. I think we should be okay getting past Young Boys. They are champions of the Swiss League? Yeah, it's got to be champions because Basel and Zurich. So, decent squad. They got some nice players, but I think we're better than them. We're going to play AZ and Getafe. And hopefully do better than we did against Barcelona just now. Holy cow, it was a horrible, horrible match. 48th, 53rd, 56th, 85th, and 91st minute. Good grief. We'll get them back. We'll get there eventually. So I think we keep having transfer windows like we did this year where we're bringing in quality players for a decent amount of money. We're going to be doing well. And especially as we get more money in the bank, maybe we're going to be able to go out and start buying some of these players for 25, 30 million euros, especially if they improve the team. In the meantime, it's going to be finding quality young players, playing them and developing them, and, top 7. That's the goal from now on. Top 7. As long as we get European football every year, the club will be happy. And we got to start challenging for Champions League football too. But there have been rumors of a buyout, but those have always been kind of quashed. 3 years in a row now, there's been whispers about, Réal is the target of a takeover. Now we're picked to finish 16th. Qualify for Europa League, picked to finish 16th. So, what can I say? None of my players are in the best 11. So I'll have to wait and see. I'd be interested in your feedback on the transfer window. The Barcelona game absolutely sucked. I think we can all agree on that. That aside, if you did like what you've seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, questions, criticism, comments. Leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. My name's FM20, and I thank you for watching.